Hello, welcome to my video showing you how to take inputs from Power Apps and convert them into a PDF using Word. This can also be used for SharePoint, OneDrive, and any other connector that can provide PowerAutomate with information. Once you've set it up with Power Apps though, you can customize it from there. First, we need to start from SharePoint. Go to Site Settings by navigating through Site Information, then View All Site Setting. Now, under the Web Designer galleries, select Site Content Types. Now we are going to create our own content type. The reason for this will become clear later. First, let's enter a name, description, and save it to a new category. The parent category will likely be set by your organization. Just go ahead and select an appropriate choice. Leaving content type to basic document will load up a basic list in the next step. Leave this for now. If you want to go ahead and delete the content types from the basic document that have been created, go ahead and do that now using the Remove Site Columns button. Great! Now let's go ahead and add our own custom site contents. This should be anything you want to be included in the document. For now, I will use 3 really simple columns. Here you can add a custom category or create a new one of your own. I've created a new custom one as this is really handy when you want to add more, change them around, or bring them into other custom content types in the future. This column is for a value in GBP. You'll see why soon. Customize any of the fields as you need. My suggestion is to keep things as simple as possible here and use the app or Automate to do more complex things. This column is to add a single line of text for a person. The reason it's a single line and not an actual person field is so that it is able to be an external person. Here, I make sure to add it to my correct category. Next, I am adding a person field. This can be a person field as I can take this from the app or Power Automate and ensure it remains as the current logged-in user. Once again, just go ahead and customize as you see fit. All of this will generate a really simple example. I currently have flows that generate PDFs that are 5 to 6 pages long and have a multitude of information. Now we need to go ahead and implement the custom content types in the location that you plan to store your source Word document. Here's my example Word document. This should be the SharePoint site that we started with. Go to Library Settings, More Library Settings. Now we can go ahead and add our custom content types. Go to Add from Existing Site Content Types. Now we can go ahead and load the custom category that you added earlier. Then add the custom content types. You can click on the content type to confirm the column settings. I've had to add a valid until date as I missed this out. This is just a single line of text field. You now have 2 options. Create a new file in Word, the same as I have here. Or change an existing Word document to the new content type. Changing the content type can take a long time for the information to show within Word. All changes to this file should be done in the desktop version of Word. I'm going to go ahead and open the file I have created for this. This one is set up and ready to go, but I will walk you through how to create it. As you can see, I am opening it in the desktop app. In Word, we need to make sure you have access to the Developer tab. This is very easy to achieve. Simply go to File, Options, find Customize ribbon and then find the Developer tick box. Tick this and click OK. Now we just need to add the content types you have created to the Word document. I have added them to this already, but I'll go ahead and delete the to and from so we can see how to add them back in. Open the Developer tab and select XML Mapping Pay. Then, navigate to http://schemas.microsoft.com/office/2006/metadata/properties. The to is a simple text field, so that's nice and easy. The from, being a person field, is actually a table of data, so we just need to make sure we choose the right field within the subtable. For this we will use display name. I've chosen simple text fields in this to keep things nice and easy. You can go ahead and make things more complicated down the line. This is now our document ready for the information to be passed from Power Apps via Power Automate. This method avoids any premium license issues. Now we need to move on to creating the Power Automate. Let's go ahead and create a new automate with Power Apps as the trigger. Just go ahead and give it whatever name you want. Now we need to add in the information that we want to take from the app and pass into Word. For this we have the 4 columns. It is important to choose the right field types. For our currency, this needs to be a value. For our person, this needs to be an email. The valid until is text so that we can manipulate it easier in Power Apps, rather than trying to do so in Power Automate. Next we are going to initialize a variable for the date time. This is so that the seconds remain the same throughout the flow, instead of changing each time we try and name the files. For this we will set the type to string and the value to UTC now, using the formula option. Now we are going to add a scope. This will allow better error handling if you want to build this in. It will also allow the automate to be easier to change and understand when returning to it or looking to make it more advanced as you get more comfortable with it. Then we just need to add a get file content action. Make sure this is SharePoint. This is the slightly annoying part where the search function may not return what you're looking for. Go ahead and click into SharePoint if this happens and find the get file content action. We will now go and set this up. This needs to be set to your source Word document that you want to be converted to a PDF. Just navigate through your folder structures to the Word document we created with the custom content types. Renaming actions as we go along is always recommended. The next action we need to add is a create file action, once again in SharePoint. The purpose of this is to create a copy of our source document. Basically, we are going to take the information from the get source file above and create a duplicate of it. Set it up with your folder structure again. I have a testing folder to track any additions. Here's where the var_datetime is handy. By using a variable, we will have the same naming structure across all our actions. The file content should be the file content of our get source file. A crucial step that I missed and you will see me add in a minute is to add .docx to the end of the file name. This defines that the document is a Word file. We are now going to add an update file properties action. We need to choose the folder structure to go to Documents. This is because we will be passing the action an ID which will go through and find the file. The structure is not needed to go further than this. The ID should be from the action above, which is the duplication of our source file. Here I am just tidying up some old columns I added for a previous video. Just ignore this as you shouldn't have them, but it does make sense to tidy up any columns we won't be updating. If you want to do that, go ahead and do that now. Then we just need to add the information that is coming from PowerApps into our Word document. For this example, I'll add the value to, from, and valid until. Now I'm adding a get file content action. Technically this isn't needed and we shouldn't have to add it in, but I have had previous issues where the content doesn't update as quickly as the flow runs, meaning we get a blank file. This forces that updated data to come through. Just set this to get the identifier from the update step. Let's go ahead and add another scope. This one will be where we convert the Word file into a PDF. The action we need to add here is to create file. It's important to note that this is in OneDrive, not SharePoint. The folder path for this is just going to be /. This is because we are deleting the file this creates at the end, so we just create it in the default OneDrive location. This means we have no issues with users not having access to folders or not having the same folder paths. You'll notice this is where I jump back and add in the .docx to the previous step. You can just highlight the file name here and copy it. Then just paste it into the OneDrive action. The file content for this needs to be from the Get File Content 1 action. Now we add the convert file using path action within OneDrive. The file path needs to be from our OneDrive file. The target type should be PDF. Now we need to add a SharePoint create file action. This will take our OneDrive conversion to PDF content and create a PDF within SharePoint. Use the folder structure that you want to save the end file in. This PDF is the final step of our creating the file. It's crucial to note that when adding the file name, we add it as a PDF, not a .docx. The file content should be from the conversion action above. Now we are just going to tidy up the duplicate files we have created in both OneDrive and SharePoint. Go ahead and add a delete file action for both SharePoint and OneDrive. The OneDrive one will get the file from the OneDrive create file action, the SharePoint one from the SharePoint update file action. And that's it for the Power Automate steps. Go ahead and save the Automate. We will now move to Power Apps. Here is the example app one have created. Once again, this is just a very quick mock-up of an app and not something in use. Any flows I have run the risk of accidentally giving out sensitive data, so I have to use these basic examples. Here you can see that the value and to fields are input. The from and date are labels and cannot be edited by the end user. I have integrated the Automate with the app, so clicking Generate will run the Automate. Apologies if I switch between Flow and Automate too much. Even Microsoft is confused about which one they use. As you can see, the information has been taken from the app, ran by Automate, and then we have a PDF generated from the Word document. Now, let's look at how we integrated the steps. Here I am just showing you what I've added into the app to get the information we need. This formula in the app will take the date today and add a year to get the expiry date. What's unique about this code, though, is the ability to add an ND, ST, or TH as needed. Here you can see how the Automate is given information from the app. We will run through how this was added now. I'm deleting the Automate so you can see how to add one. Click on the ellipses on the menu bar on the left. Then click Power Automate. Click Add Flow and add the flow that you have created. Using a button, set the onSelect command to run the flow. You just need to start typing the name of your flow, followed by .run. Open the brackets and you should have prompts about what is required to populate. Here I'll use a mix of the inputs and labels. For the user field, we need to ensure that the flow receives an email address. I've set it to user email. You could have this as a static email or use a combo box with a search function. Once again, it can be as complex as you need it to be. And that's basically it. You now have the ability to connect this to SharePoint if required. You could trigger this on a new list item and have data from SharePoint. You could use a premium SQL connection and take data directly from a SQL table and run through iterations of data, creating thousands of PDFs automatically. Once again, I've shown the basics of creating this. It's then up to you how complex you want to make it. Mine, for example, take a lot of data from SharePoint, some directly, some via an app, then send the PDF via Outlook or Teams. Thanks for watching. Please just let me know if you have any questions. Give me a like and a follow if you want more content like this. P.S. I live in a building site at the moment. Once finished, I will actually use my own voice and face.